Hey everyone, it's Kimmy. I am Mama on a Mission, and I am a 14-year online reseller on eBay, Poshmark, Depop, and now Whatnot as well. And today I have a church rummage sale haul for you with a little bit of info tied into it, because this is one of my favorite church sales and it is always very busy. I've been going to this church sale for years, and I will say I was surrounded by resellers, and I have a little bit of a story and some tips at the end, some things that I am thinking about based off of this experience at my favorite rummage sale on how I'm going to continue to thrive in my business and strategize and organize in order for me to be successful in what I do. Because let's face it, resellers are everywhere, which is kind of funny to me. Well, there's a couple things that I want to talk about with that. First of all, I've been doing this for 15 years. And almost 15, I'm almost there. When I first started, reselling in a large perspective was like very taboo. It was like I was a dumpster diver. I swear. I used to tell people or talk to people about what I did, or if I was brave enough to, because a lot of times I didn't. They would think I was crazy. They thought it was gross. People thought thrift stores were gross. Like, there was a whole big part of the beginning part of my journey as a reseller 15 years ago that it was very taboo. And even my precious little sister at times, because I was young when I first started in my 20s, sometimes, like, she was like, "You do what? Oh." And I think that was just because the whole idea of thrifting back then was different. So it's kind of ironic to me that now it's so huge. Everyone wants to be a reseller. Every year, in the last, I would say 2 to 4 years, like, everyone is getting into reselling, whether it's a side hustle, just something to bring in extra money. And now it's this huge thing, and they are everywhere. Like, I was listening to people, I was hearing people, like, it was like a whole, and then there was other, there were obviously non-resellers there. But I often also think about, with this channel, is it partly my fault? And people, will blame me and have blamed me before for having so many resellers. And then, of course, basically, I made my own competition in a way. And I say that because I have gotten comments, and I've heard other resellers who have YouTubes and social medias, that people blame me for so many more resellers, because essentially my 15 years of experience and knowledge and hardships, I'm sharing right here for the world to see. And so in a way, I, along with other resellers who have social medias, we're kind of giving away a lot of our tips and tricks that, a lot of times we had to kind of learn the hard way. And now it's just on social media. I'd love to hear you guys chime in. Most of you are either resellers, thrifters, you just love seeing what we have found. You're following our journeys. So I'd love to hear your perspective on that. I have gotten comments, that I'm kind of digging my own grave in a way, because I'm here telling you guys what I'm picking up and why I think it's valuable. So all that component while I'm walking into this church sale that I love so much and is busier than I've ever seen it before, kind of came to my brain, and I thought I would share it with you with the haul, because I think it's valid. Is it a thing that people are learning from me on this channel, and I'm basically giving out some of my info and secrets, basically, for everyone to see. Why do I do it? Well, it took me 3 times to get this channel going over many years, and really I felt like, first of all, you can find most of this information just by looking up solds. If you Google enough, the information is out there, right? Secondly, there are a ton of other social medias that are way bigger than me and more important than me that also share basically the same thing. I watch Kaylee Elaine. She's got 50,000 subscribers. She's fantastic at what she does. She has a warehouse and employees, and she sells stuff like I do all the time, and she's had that YouTube for years. She'll throw in something and be like, this is my bread and butter. I'll sell it for $22. And I'm like, yep, sold that about 100 times. Like, she is also giving out that information and has been for years. So I'm like, I also have valuable information and knowledge that I want to share as well. So am I digging my own grave? Is it my fault? Maybe, but know that I'm happy you are here, and hopefully in some way my information is helpful, entertaining, something, because I do really enjoy the channel. Hopefully I can, in my next 15 years, hopefully I can keep going. And at the end, I'm going to give some tips and things that I thought about after this experience on how I'm going to stay afloat and how I'm going to keep hustling. You guys know I'm a hustler, baby. So back to the church sale itself, and we'll get to this haul. This is one of the few sales that actually opens up early. I have found in my area most of the sales don't open till 9 or 10 o'clock. But this one is early. This is the one that I joke about, that I get my kids to school early, because this one opens at 7 a.m. And I never get there at 7 a.m. because I have to drop my kids at like 6:55. My kids are a true blessing. They got up great. I did get them to school a smidge early, and I raced there. No joke. I got there like 7:07, and I got the last parking spot in this like long driveway, and I pulled in there. It's long. And then they were already starting to park cars in their side parking lot. I'm talking 7 a.m. There was probably 50 to 75 cars, and I might be underestimating. I don't even know. Already in this parking lot, people were rushing to the tents, to the buildings. And it's always like that. But I put down the word looting. Have you guys seen those videos where, like, in certain situations, people like break into these stores, and they're just like, or like supermarket sweep? You guys remember that show? And they're just like, people are like pushing each other, and they're grabbing everything they can and throwing it in their bags. That's what it was like. Like, if I was brave enough to be one of those people to have like some live action shots, you guys would go crazy at how crazy this church sale was. The craziest that I've ever seen it. I thought it was like clothes were flying. I walked in 7:10 by the time I got up to the clothing tent. And there's literally a guy, I could tell he was a reseller. Sometimes you can just tell he's shoveling all this clothes onto the checkout counter, which bless the ladies behind that checkout counter, because they do it by paper and pencil. And this guy's like shoveling all of stuff. How did he find so much in like 7 minutes? Like, it was insane. I do think, geez, what did I miss out on? Probably a lot, but I gotta take care of my kiddos. Come number one, and I can't just drop them off at 6:30 at school because I want to go to a garage sale. Like, it's just not how it works. So it's fine. I still found some great things. I have a bag here that I'm about to show you in 1 second. I will like to also point out, because this church sale was so crazy busy, the busiest I've ever seen it. There was, some were really nice, and some are understanding, and some are not. Everybody's time is precious. Time is money. And I try to just squeeze myself in, which is hard. You guys know I'm a big girl. I'm 5'11" and shrinking, but 5'11", I'm a plus size, big, broad girl. But I like try to oh, excuse me. I try to get in and try to stay out of anybody's way, because I just, I know how people are, and we're all looking for stuff. I try to do that. Some were nice. I got, shoved around a little bit. I try not to let it get to me. After I left, honestly, I'm walking out. I was joking with the ladies checking out. I was joking with a couple people. It was fine. We were giggling. It was fine. But, sometimes it'd be like that. And this church sale is like that. Everyone around me was talking about reselling. So I'll get the tips at the end. Let's see what I found. Gosh, I'm already 9 minutes in. I talk too much. Hopefully you're still with me so you can actually see what I found here at the church sale. Sweaters were $3. Most tops are $2. Another reason why there's so many people that go to this sale. It's still cheap, still affordable. And honestly, how many people were there by the time I got there? It's still amazing that I got all of this. Tomorrow's their bag sale, which it'll be Saturday. I'm not posting this on the right time, but I have gone back to the bag sale, and it's fill a bag for $5. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet, but let's see what I found. And then we'll get to the tips at the end. So they do a lot of their tagging with good old masking tape. So their prices are all streamlined. So there's no price tags on anything. This is Ralph Lauren, size large. All the sweaters were $3 a piece. So that's a fair, good price. Cotton and lycra blend, made in Hong Kong, which I do believe this may be like Y2K vintage. I liked that it was a V-neck cardigan. The buttons are there. Some of them, it looks like the buttons aren't there, but it's like a kind of like textured, ribbed V-neck button-up cardigan. 'Tis the season. Love this pink. Ralph Lauren. I am happy with that. I did get quite a few sweaters here, so they were all, I saw someone else with a couple nice sweaters, and I was like, oh man, I'm bummed. I'm jealous. I have envy. Now this says 2X. I don't know why, but the tag is 1X. This is Tailbots 1X. I do better with this brand in plus sizes, of course, and I believe this is a good material. It is, my eyes cannot see, 30% lamb's wool and nylon. So 30% lamb's wool on this, Tailbots. It is very classic. This lamb's wool is very soft. This is minimalist. This is, closet staple. It's a basic. It's an everyday pull over, and it's a plus size. Tailbots, lamb's wool, all good things there for $3. Plus size Tailbots are some of those brands I do really well in. So, this is also Ralph Lauren, made in Hong Kong, 100% cotton, another plus size. This is 3X, and I do pretty well in any Ralph Lauren type of items in plus size. And it does have the little logo hit here. Kind of hard to see, but it's a purple turtleneck. Purple turtle. Sometimes you guys know my words. Just like a classic piece. I do like that there is a little bit of a logo, plus size, 100% cotton, Ralph Lauren. A lot of these I will probably list around $29 to $39, looking at the comps and based on the materials. That lamb's wool, might be more of a $29 to $35. Another Tailbots 2X, again in the plus size, in some of these these are higher priced, mature brands. Really nice bright yellow button down cardigan, very classic, office, secretary, everyday use. It's cotton and nylon. Just a very classic plus size Tailbots. Button up is always great in the plus size. Now this, I was surprised to see still there based on the hordes of people coming out with like handfuls of stuff. And I don't know, this is a new part of the tag to me. It says by Anthropology, but look at, it says A+. The A is in that turquoisey color and it has a little plus to it. A+ Anthropology. I don't know if I've seen that before, if I've always missed it. And this is a plus size 2X sweater in this fun zebra animal print. Fall animal prints are in. And it has a little bit of contrast at the end of the sleeve, which I think is fun. So this is a bolder print, obviously, but yeah, animal prints are in for fall. People love their animal prints. It, let's see if it has a material, viscose, polyester, and nylon. I don't know about the A+ part, but I do know it's Anthropology. It's plus size. It's a heavier knit sweater and a animal print for fall. Very, very nice. That's probably going to be a $39 list. I found this right at the end. I thought about hauling my haul to the vehicle and coming back, and I was not sure. I only got charged $2 for this. It's Tailbots extra small. It's not really a sweater. It's like a knit long sleeve. I got this because of the pattern. A lot of times I skip extra smalls and smalls unless there's a lot of stackable features to get it, because extra small and smalls usually are slower movers for me. But I did love this print. It gives me like beachy, nautical, classic, coastal type of vibes. I love the paisley and the colors in this. It's really, really pretty, and it has a ribbed sleeve. So this is probably more like a $25 list for me. It's cotton and lyocell though. Lyocell always elevates the item a little bit. If you don't know, lyocell feels amazing. The material, you know, I like touching with my hands because I love materials. The smoothness of a silk. Even that lamb's wool was not scratchy. It's soft. You know, I think, yeah, maybe it's like therapeutic to me that I do really just love a good quality, soft, smooth material. Now, this was interesting to me. You guys tell me, look at this tag. It's vintage. It says the 19-hole 100% Australian wool by Lord Jeff. Look at this tag. It has to be, I'm going to guess 70s to 80s. What's this Australian wool? Australian? Should I Google it really quick? Should I look up? I won't spend too much time on it, but what is Australian wool? I've never heard of this before, but I got charged $3 for it, and I am going to sell it. My thought process was, well, I don't know really what this is. I'm going to sell this as preppy, golf, pickleball, college, academia. See the white like contrast there? It reminds me of like 70s or 80s, like golfers, country club, that type of vibe. You know, something college. I just thought it was kind of neat. So the Australian wool, I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to do some, here's some things for Australian wool. I don't really know what that means, but I thought I could sell it more on the style wise, right? This reminds me of something like someone would wear to college and high school. I don't know. There's the comps are all over the place, and I'm not really sure what to say. So you guys tell me. $3 Australian wool vintage piece. Like I said, I'm going to sell that on the style side of things, and I think it'll do fine. 25, 30 bucks. What is this? I didn't really know this brand. This was another, I'm not sure, but it said handmade in Ecuador. ECC, Ecuadorian Clothing Company, 50% wool and 50% cotton. Handmade in Ecuador, which is why I got it. Look at this stunning poncho. Handmade in Ecuador. Look at that. Oh my gosh. With the fringe, just a really stunning piece. And I was interested in knowing handmade in Ecuador. Ecuadorian clothing. Ecuadorian clothing. I cannot spell today. So obviously what really tipped me off to want to look into this one was the handmade in Ecuador. I think that's amazing. I love finding, I'm kind of a nerd. I'm a nerd, you guys. I'm a clothing nerd. Good materials. 22, 34. That's a plush. There's only a couple sweaters. So, yeah, I will have to, again, add on some keywords. It is wool. It is handmade in Ecuador. Poncho. It's a great season. I love the colors. A lot of good reasons. And for $3, I think I can get 25 to 30 for that. Really pretty piece. I'm going to have to stack some of the keywords on that. Warm, comfy, cozy. Ponchos are nice because you just slip them over your head. So that's always nice too. This is J. Jill. You know, that's my bread and butter. Bread and butter. J. Jill extra large. I try to stay away from J. Jill's smaller sizes. And I also like this color for fall. So it's another button-up cardigan. Really nice, like a nice brown. just a button up. Oh, I thought this was boxy, which is really popular right now. Pair this with your favorite wide leg or baggy pants, and it's great for layering. The color is great, and like I said, it's an extra large. If this was an extra small, I probably would have left it. It's a cotton blend. Another bread and butter for me. Oh, did I tell you guys how much I even paid for this? You guys, this whole bag that was obviously previously full. I didn't count how many items. I'm better do that. How much do you think I spent for all that? I probably already went through 10 items. And I got this left. Another 15, 20. So I probably got about 25 to 30 items. This is J. Crew. Now this is the real J. Crew. It's not factory or one of their mercantile lines. And it's a size medium. This is a great neutral basic piece for fall again. And I believe this was some kind of wool mix. It is 100% merino wool. Base layer, great layering piece in a nice neutral minimalist color. I paid $70 for this whole bag. And I think that's pretty good. I didn't pay more than $3 for an item. Last year I found some good shoes. I saw someone with one of those rolly bags, the big giant IKEA bags, but they're on wheels, full of shoes, like before I even got through anything. So I mean, when I say that the resellers were flocking to this place, they were flocking. Like no one's buying 50 pairs of shoes for themselves. I mean, I guess maybe, but I think it was a reseller. So I was 15 minutes into when it opened and it was just crazy. Here's another merino wool piece, tailbots. This again is very capsule wardrobe, closet staple, great layering piece, minimalist, you know, kind of a very closet staple, basic. You could definitely go like office, business, workwear with this as well. Tailbots, 100% merino wool. And this wool again too is more of a soft wool. You know, each one of these pieces I'm listing for $25, $29. I got a couple skirts in here. And I did pick up some boho. You guys know I'm a boho babe. Although I always just look like a hot mess babe. Really not a babe at all, but I do love boho and I love vintage. And this is a vintage item. Is there a brand to this? No. Now, if you're looking at vintage items, always remember to like, itchy nose, check your waist. I don't want to check my waist. Check your waistband for stretch. If it's crinkly, if it's like overstretched, then you might want to pass on it. This says Jarrell Ink, made in Texas. I don't know what Jarrell Ink is. It must have been a company way back then. Size 12, polyester and cotton blend. Look how sweet this cute little, this is a maxi dress. It's like an accordion pleat texture. This gives me like Victorian, feminine, boho, peasant, prairie vibes. Just a very pretty, like I want to say like the Victorian parts really screaming at me. Just very elegant. Based off this tag, again, it has to be maybe from the 80s. Maybe I can look and see where Jarrell Ink was. Made in Texas, USA. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but again, vintage, made in the USA, style-based piece, very feminine. I love the color, the pastel colors in that are just so pretty. Here's another boho piece. This is J. Jill, size 4. Another bread and butter. Now, if this did not have this beautiful embroidery, I might have passed on it. The skirts were $3. Look at that. Oh, woo! I love it. Love it. I love, hopefully someone else loves it too. It is 100% genuine leather on the outside with a polyester lining. This is more of like a knee length maybe, but it has the embroidery on both sides and the back. Come on now. I just love this. I think it's stunning. And it's genuine leather. Obviously, I'll put the boho, the prairie out. I will definitely also go equestrian, cowgirl, you know, more of a modern or formal cowgirl. That is beautiful. I love that piece. More embroidery, stitching by Anthropologie. See, now this Anthropologie does not have the plus, the A+. This is the tag I'm used to. By Anthropologie. That other one had the A was bigger and it had a plus sign. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Pants again were $3. Were they $2 or $3? I think pants were $2. All I know is my total was $70. She's literally with a paper and a pen, like old school, just like me. Boop. You know, every couple items. Okay, that was 3 sweaters. That's $9 pair. You know, and she just kept adding it on a piece of paper, and then at the end it was your total 70. And I was like, okay. So old school. This is like more of like a tapestry material. Look how beautiful that is. Whoo. If I don't, I mean, you can see what kind of style I like. So by Anthropologie, lovely green color. Look at the details. How, you know, even though, let's be positive here. Even though I was like the 60th person in this tent full of clothes, I still found some really beautiful items. I mean, look at this. I'm really happy with this item. It's so pretty. There is some on the butt pocket too. And I do like the longer boxy pockets in the front. And, you know, I think this is like a straight to maybe a boot cut. It might be boot cut. But look at that. That puts a smile on my face. So can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong. All the boho keywords on that one as well. Here, I believe I found another leather skirt. Now this one said made in Yugoslavia, which, like I said, like I'm always drawn and I'm always intrigued. I think my mind goes, Yugoslavia? That seems crazy. Like, I don't know how much, oh wow, look at this tag. How many times I've found something that says made in Yugoslavia, and then I'm really intrigued. I did not realize, I saw this said body genuine. I did not read the other side. It says body genuine, pig suede. That's pretty descriptive, huh? Wowzers. And I do think this is vintage. Yugoslavia. Wow, okay. But there's no brand to it. Says pig suede. Like, I don't think they put that on on labels anymore. And then it says lining is acetate, dry clean only. Yeah, sometimes I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on this. I like the detail. See this right around the waistband? Very pretty. Again, about like a knee length. Classic brown. Leather feels good. I didn't see any like significant signs of wear on it. You know, leather naturally just gets this kind of like washed out look. And this is really pretty at the top too. So I'm thinking each of these are going to be a $30 to $40 list on the genuine leather pig suede skirts. I think those are really pretty pickups. Now this was one of the first items I picked up, and it's heavy. Dresses were $3. This is Woman Within, 24, plus size 24W. This is a bread and butter plus size brand for me. I usually have to stack the reasons to pick it up, and here are the reasons I picked up this one. This is a lovely color for fall, which is what we're going into. It's a dark, beautiful dark brown. It has this pleated pin tuck accent here. It is it a full button down? Yeah, it's a full button down maxi length dress, and it's corduroy with long sleeves, which looks like there's a little spudgy. Oh, it's like fuzzies. Yeah, those are just fuzzies. So those are all the reasons why I picked this up. It's kind of heavy, honestly. Plus size, dark fall color. I do like the flattering pin tuck pleats, full button down maxi length dress, and it's corduroy, which is all the things for fall. And then I'll put in some keywords. This is like lag and look, boho, prairie, all of those things. Prairie being more not on the floral side of things, but just that element as a whole, if that makes sense. But this is a great dress for fall right now. All those stackable reasons. I wouldn't just pick up Woman Within like a t-shirt or anything very basic. It has to have many reasons to pick it up. See, I'm giving you guys all my knowledge. All my knowledge. Ooh, I loved these. It's because I love you. I'm not, you know, I've had people comment like, well, you're the reason there's so many resellers. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. So I loved this. Poetry is a good brand. And I was going to look up because these are hemp, which I don't find a whole lot. So here's the tag for you. Poetry. It's pretty basic. It's like a white tag and some letters. Poetry. There's not much going on there. When I saw it was hemp blend, US size 4, 55% hemp and 45% cotton. That's really what intrigued me about this. And then I also saw that they were like a classic wide leg pant. See this? And that's very in right now. Obviously, wide leg is back. So it's going to probably stay around for a year or two, and then we'll transition to something else. But Poetry, hemp blend, wide leg pant. Hemp is another good material I like finding, but I don't find it a whole lot. Poetry, hemp blend. Yeah, I don't find, it's one of those materials. Here's a pair that looks very similar to mine. Oh, this is a skirt, $27. A lot of their shirts are going Poetry, hemp blend, 28. Here we go. Here's a Poetry wide pants, hemp blend, boho hippie they put, good job. It sold for $37.48. A lot of these hemp blend Poetry tops are going 25, 35, 45. Here's another pant for 32. So this is looking like a great pickup. Poetry, hemp blend, wide leg. And I'll probably list those for $39. Great pickups, even in the chaos. Now this is a vintage Ralph Lauren. Now obviously where you're going to make big money is the real Ralph Lauren or a black label Ralph Lauren or a purple label Ralph Lauren. You know, the more polo buy, these are the lower ends of the Ralph Lauren, but they still hold value. And the reason why I picked this up is this is vintage. Ralph Lauren, size 8, cotton spandex blend. These are corduroy pants, and these two gave me some style vibes. Look at these. Like a hippie boho. The corduroy is in for fall and winter. And these two are like a boot cut. These are not straight. They're not skinny. They're a boot cut. What other keywords can we use for this? Boho, hippie, but it's also like, there's definitely a fancy, elegant component to this. Like, I don't want to say old money. There's something else there. Bohemian for sure, though. Ralph Lauren, corduroy, the print, the dark colors, all of those reasons. And it is a vintage, you know, possibly like a Y2K era item. Now, I didn't know, I had mixed feelings about this, but for $3, I picked it up. The brand is just Bloomingdale's, the men's store, like the department store, but it's a size extra large and it's 100% cashmere. You know, these pieces going into fall will go for $25 to $30 if you get a pure cashmere. Usually cashmere fetches a little bit more than wool, depends on the brand, and it is a good size. Quarter zip, pull over, and I love cashmere. Still a great pickup without even having a huge brand attached to it. A couple more things, and then we'll get to the tips. My thoughts on how I felt after going to this crazy church sale that had 1 million people there. Well, 1 million resellers. So soft surroundings, I am really slowing down on picking up on unless there are multiple reasons to pick it up. And at this church sale for only I'm pretty certain the pants were $2. I couldn't pick it up. So it's soft surrounding, size extra large, linen, wide leg pants. Now we are going out of linen season, obviously, but before you know it, people are going to be thinking about travel. So I pretty much pick up linen almost all year round if it's like 100% linen and it has stackable features to pick it up. I do love that it's a pull-on with a stretch waist. It's an extra large, which is great. It has pockets, beachy, coastal, vacation, cruise, all of the travel, all of those things. It being a wide leg is also great. So all of those reasons, you know, I'll put probably 29. And it having some of those, you know, extra reason, it being an extra large helps. Soft surroundings. I'm just seeing what it's going for right now. We're going out of summer season, but like I said, people go travel. Here's a pair right here. Linen gauze pants, $30. Soft surroundings, $28.99. Actually, these comps are still pretty good. I mean, we are going out of that season. I think very confidently I'll get $25 for those. But I'll probably list around 29. There's a couple comps in the 30, 35 range. So, and they're extra large, wide leg, all the things. Now I know this brand, and I was hesitant to pick this up, 525 America. And my thoughts on this, we're going into fall. We're in fall, I guess. I should stop saying. I wish this was a wool blend. It's a cotton tencel lyocell blend, which is still a quality material. If it had the wool, then it would be a better base layer type of item. 525 America, you know, it is a good brand. I wish this was also a bigger size. So we'll see how this does. This is just basic, a men's basic pullover and a good quality material. And again, it'll be like base layer type of, I'm guessing this is probably going to go in the $25 range. Like I said, I do wish it was a bigger size and maybe had a wool blend in it. Yeah, 25. I need to find one that's like more of a base layer. Just, this one says 30, 14, 23. So there you have it on that one. This says 30 and it looks very similar to mine. So put in all the details. You know, some of these items, like I tell you guys, you have to put in more info and a little bit more effort. Like if I just had a authenticated Gucci bag, that's all I'd put because it would sell on its own. But for some of these pieces, all I really need is the material, the size, the brand, and it will be fine. But for something like that, 525 America is an okay brand. It's a smaller size. It doesn't have wool. I'm going to have to work a little bit harder in order to put my style, you know, my style keywords in there and to sell it. A couple of dresses at the end. Dresses were $3. This is Brooks Brothers. Again, size extra large. I try to stick to at least a medium or above most of the time, but this is very classic. It gives me like nautical, I don't know what words I'm looking for. I'm having a hard time today with some of my keywords. This is like, I could see a woman wearing this to like a lunch or a brunch with their, you know, girlfriends, or wearing this to church. I do love Brooks Brothers. And I do love that it's an extra large. It was like a midi length dress. And I think this is the last piece. Again, probably a $29 list. So if I sell it for $25, right? I paid $3. If I sell it for $25, fees are about 20%. They're a little bit less than that, but I always estimate on the high side. 20% fees on a $25 item is $5 in fees, $3 in cost. And so my profit, 25, if it sells for 25 minus 8 is $17 in profit. And I feel like that's where I'm going to be at with almost all of these. I'll be making $17 in profit per item, possibly a little more on a couple of them, over and over and over again. And that's, you know, just solid quality sales for me and for my business. So that's how it kind of breaks down. Poshmark is a 20% fee. eBay really is like an 11.3 plus a transaction fee. And, you know, I always estimate on the high side when I'm just like throwing numbers out there, just because you want to feel confident in the numbers you're putting out there. Now this is a newer Bowden tag. See how the Bowden part is a little bit thicker and bolder? This is a size 16, 18, and it's another dress. I love this. Again, it gives me like not elegant, but like more of a brunch, you know, going out type of vibe. It's a unique kind of like a leaf print. It is a wrap dress, which will add value. And again, it's, you know, these are midi length, maybe even a maxi. And, you know, Bowden's a good brand, but it's a slower mover. So again, stack your reasons. This is a midi or maxi length. It's a wrap dress in a better size, 16 to 18. And for $3, you know, I'll probably again list this around $29 and land in the $20, $25 range. Since I'm here, and if you guys made it to the end, you know, I'll look up the thing and I'll give you some last minute thoughts here that I wrote down. Here we go with some sales. Bowden wrap dress. This looks very similar to mine. $35. Sold today, which won't be the day I post this, a couple days later. Here's another one. Wrap dress. $29. $35. $35. These are solds, so what they're actually selling for. $50, that says pre-owned, $50, wow. $39, $29. So I'm right in the money there. I'm gonna get $25, $30 for sure on this wrap dress, and people do like real wrap tops and dresses, something to keep in mind. So I blabbed in the first part of this video, and if you made it to the end, then I'm going to give you a couple of my own personal thoughts and tips on walking into, you know, this church sale being completely, I knew it'd be busy, but I was even more surprised when I got, you know, to the checkout, and I was walking by the checkout and saw these people hoarded, you know, now I don't want to say hoarded, because I sling clothes all the time too, so I am these people. I just mean, like, it was overwhelming for me to see how much people had gotten in 15 minutes, how many bags were already going through the checkout, and these people were like frantic, looking through things. My first thought, stay calm. Stay calm. Even for myself, I was like, you know what, it's going to be fine. I did the best I could. I got there when I could, which was still super early. It was 15 minutes into the sale. And if you have the time, take it. Now, some of these people maybe don't have time, or they really are rushing to get the best of the best and get out of there. And kudos to them. I love a good hustle. I love a good competition. Good for them. I'm not mad. I just was overwhelmed with thinking, geez, am I going to get anything? Slow down. Take your time. There's no way those people went through all of those items and found every single item that had any value to it. And obviously I just proved that. Look at all the items I got. I spent 1 hour there. I found 25, 30 items, and I feel really good about the items that I got. So stay calm. If you're in an environment that is overwhelmingly full of resellers and hagglers and you know, people who are hustling just like you, it's going to be all right. Be realistic with your items, and I'm going to continue to do that in my business as well. It's easy to get overwhelmed thinking, wow, they got all of the best items, or they got all the items that are going to sell for $100. Stay on your toes, stay grounded, be realistic with yourself in these moments and in your business. Now, some people only want to sell things for an average sale price of $30, $40, $50. And if that's your business model, then I guess this doesn't necessarily apply to you. But for me personally, as someone who sells a mix of bread and butter and higher priced items, I need to stay grounded. And like the math, the basic math I just told you, is taking these $3 items and making a profit of $17 per item on these. And that's like quadrupling your money essentially. That's still a great profit. That's a great bread and butter item. You know, those are great bread and butter items for me. And so stay grounded. It's going to be okay. You never know. I also was like, I'm thinking about going back tomorrow. I told you guys that for the bag sale. You just never know. I went through some of these racks and I was like, oh, Anthropologie, oh, 100% cashmere, oh, there's still good stuff here. Like, even though it's overwhelming, if you have enough knowledge and you take your time, there's definitely going to be things that other people pick over. And that's how I've found some of my best items, honestly. Obviously, one of the biggest things, in my opinion, is not only for this situation, but in your reselling business as a whole, is make and keep good connections with other people. I've been going to this garage sale for forever, or church sale, excuse me. I have sales that I go to every year. I have notes. I keep a list of some of my favorite places where I was successful. And the more you get into those environments, the more places you know to go, the more opportunities you're going to have. So if you're in it for the long-term game, you know, keep an eye out for different neighborhood sales, for these church sales. They do it every year. A lot of churches do sales every year. A lot of neighborhoods do their sales every year. So if you're in it for the long-term game, which I'm sure most of you are, or why would you be here? Keep a list of those things and keep your options open. You never know. I go into places all the time. I'm like, I'm not going to find nothing. And then I find things. So don't let things like make you feel like you're not going to find anything. And another example of that is in your personal life. Don't be afraid to tell people that you're a hustler, baby. Don't be afraid. People know I'm a reseller. You know, most of my close friends and family do. I've gotten donations from people. People just like, hey, I clean out my closet. You want to look at it? And I'm like, yeah, awesome. A great example is my buddy Keith. I knew he was having a garage sale. I was really busy. He's kept messaging me. And he was like, Kimmy, come to my garage sale. I'm like, what, Keith? What do you want? I've known him since grade school. I've literally known him like 30 years. I said, I'm really busy. We had all this stuff. He's like, no, I got some good stuff. I know you're a reseller. Come look at my stuff. And he was right. We got in the truck and my kids came with me and we went home with a ton of stuff. He was right. So when you have those connections, friends, family, even like other businesses in the area, make those connections, make those bonds with people. And one day they'll think of you and they'll say, hey, come on, I got some really nice skirts here. You want to come take a look? Sure, let's do it. So in an environment now where reselling is huge and people like me are giving away all my secrets, you can propel yourself to have a wider, broader range of opportunities if you allow yourself to. Talk to people, make those connections, and don't be afraid to talk about what you do. You never know what door that might open. In fact, Keith has messaged me before because he has a construction business, and he'd be like, I just cleaned out this house. There was some cool stuff. Let me send you pictures. And that's just one example of a connection that can lead to inventory opportunities that all these other people might not have. Use your connections. That's one of my biggest tips. And I said, hustle hard. You know what? Some of those people were hustling. They were able to get there sooner than me. They could rush in there and do their thing faster and earlier than I could. Kudos to them. They had the opportunity. So, be smart, hustle as hard as you can and as hard as you want to. You should have seen me in the chaos of all this craziness. People are slinging clothes all around me. I'm like, oh, this is nice. Like, I just stayed calm. I'm like, it's cool, Kimmy. You're going to find something. I just know it. My arms are getting tired. Everyone's throwing things, hitting me, bumping me. The aisles are small. Oh, it's fine. And then, oops, there's an Anthropologie. Oops, there's 100% cashmere. Ooh, I love this vintage piece. Oh, I love boho embroidery. And it all came to me. And it was fine. Everything's going to be all right. So those are my tips. It is harder than ever to be a reseller. You also have to think about another thing I was thinking about is we have to have opportunities outside of the retail environment too, like things like this, like church sales, garage sales, neighborhood sales, because there's Goodwills all over the US that have eBay stores where they sell some of their inventory online. I follow multiple Salvation Armies that have Whatnot pages and sell on Whatnot almost every day. So literal thrift stores are selling the same way we are, which is kind of scary. And we have to keep our opportunities open and keep our mind open, because the environment is changing. AI, Google Photos, all of these things, whatnot. It's overwhelming for me at times because I'm not really a tech person. And some of these environments where we take our items from are also rolling with the punches. They're starting their own eBay. They don't need resellers. They want to get their money too. So hustle hard, keep an open mind, stay, grounded in your goals. And if you have high goals, great. Just stay realistic, stay calm. Everybody stay calm. It's going to be okay. Here is an example. It was okay for me. I'm happy for the other people. Could have been one of you, maybe. I have no idea. Those are my tips and the thoughts that I was going through. And hopefully in the next 5 years, I'll still be here and I'll be selling stuff from, neighborhood sales and all those things, because you have to roll with the punches. I've been doing this almost 15 years and it's harder than ever. So you can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I promise you. $70. I'm really happy with that. If you made it to this moment, I'm shocked. I love you so much. I hope you are having a great day. I hope you win the lottery tomorrow, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.